But I put in the thumbnail, it begins, because there's still a long path ahead for Cardano ADA. And that's kind of what I want to talk about in the video. I also put in the title, ADA's severely undervalued. I'm going to demonstrate why that is. It's very simple. It's becoming, to many people, clear as day. The fake news media in crypto, the negative outlets that just didn't give Cardano a fair shake, it's becoming evident to them what's happening. So with that in mind, as we kind of step into, obviously we'll look at price, we'll look at the charts and everything, but I do want to kind of bring the story together, a little update on the story now that we are at
Blue Chip Crypto 3. Now, this is an update with Cardano. Right here, give credit when credit's due. This is the capital venture capital crypto investor. So I look for him. His name is Dan Gabberdelio. Dan Gabberdelio. If I butchered his name, that's on me. I apologize, Dan. But I give credit when credit's due. You've been following Cardano for a while. You're one of the reasons why I actually got a big bag on Cardano. I read the white paper myself. I've been following you for a while. So we just got to give credit when credit's due. We're going to audio react to this one. This is an audio reaction channel. So we're going to audio react to this one. Grab you some bags. This is not financial advice, but it just crossed. I think currently now it's at $1.10. It's projected to go to $24. We already know that Charles Hoskinson, he just met with Elon, though it's a confidentiality. He signed an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. We already know what they're going to talk about. He's going to expose that later on after he's told that he could, because he's followed the rules quite well. So buckle up, put on your seatbelts. It's time to take off. Let's go.
$1. I was a little hesitant to do the live stream. We all know it just seems like anytime I do a live stream, let's just go to here it is on the daily. It's a really nice daily candle. $1.02, just hit $1.03. There's a concern that price just, starts falling. Everybody, if you're out there, if you're an ADA holder, let me just got to do a little pound. It's nice that $1 is here, but again, still a ways to go. We still have a lot to talk about. Hit the like on the way in. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. It's not just ADA on this channel. There are others. Bitcoin. I don't even know. Bitcoin's getting ready to break 100,000. But let's talk about Cardano in this video. Very nice moment. Part of the video, we will talk about upside. We'll talk about how it's undervalued. We'll talk about what it can do in this bull market. We'll talk about where we are in the bull market. We're going to talk about what downside could look like at this moment, because I think it's very important. So just really fun posting this. What's insane is just like,
you're not a child, you're a man. So stop wearing so many layers to go out.
Well, what do you guys think about Cardano so far? I think it's a golden stock. I mean, a golden crypto. Talking about stocks, that's a whole nother channel. But this is a golden crypto. It's part of my blue bag crypto. Like I say, Cardano, ADA, also ticker symbol is ADA. Go get you some, not financial advice, but I think it's a great value. Actually, and it's actually doing a stablecoin bridge to allow you to be able to transfer your Bitcoins onto Cardano's platform seamlessly. So I think that's good for the space. It's actually great to me. But let me know what you think. Let's continue.
This happened a little sooner than I thought it would, but yet here we are. Let me just go over a couple of things. Just some brief context, just like brief reminders. And this isn't even everything. This is just a few recent narratives, recent things going on. Charles Hoskinson on his SpaceX visits, and then we're going to get into the charts. We were discussing some things. Still under NDA. Can't talk about it. But when I can, I will. Leaves a lot to the imagination. Bitcoin OS. Bitcoin OS. I mean, this was Eric Voorhees over here from Venice AI, but I think he's Shapeshift, right? Permissionless protocol, deposit BTC, borrow stables. Who's building this? Who's building this permissionless protocol for Bitcoin? It's here. Bitcoin OS will allow you to cryptographically move your BTC to other chains and use it in DeFi on Cardano and other ecosystems. No permission is required from custodial multi-sig bridges. Cardano bringing the tech, everybody, to Bitcoin. Remember, $2 trillion of
listen to that. They bringing the tech to Bitcoin. Bitcoin OS will allow you to cryptographically move your Bitcoin to other chains and use it in DeFi on Cardano and other ecosystems. No permission is required from custodial or multi-sig bridges. Q1 2025. Be there. So the technology is already here. They putting it right in front of your face. The technology is already here. They putting it right in front of your face. Let's continue.
liquidity on Bitcoin. I'd say that's relevant at this stage of the cycle. So SpaceX, Bitcoin OS, Trump, and Department of Government Efficiency, federal blockchain voting system with Cardano. Just let this build. Let these news headlines build as we do start slowly.
Read that one right there. Breaking news. Trump and Doge federal blockchain voting system with Cardano, Hyperledge, and which one is this? This is one of my favorite coins too. Hedera Hashgraph. Hedera Hashgraph, Google actually invested into this one. So if Google invested in it, what you think is going to happen? What you think really is going to happen if Google itself is investing in it? Let's go.
Pivoting to price, because price is value. Price is the value of ADA. And this is what I'm saying is undervalued. You have these headlines. And then lastly, and by the way, I'm leaving so much out. These are just recent headlines. I retweeted Plutus.
Dan, I'm gonna inform them on what's going on. I appreciate you for dropping these gems. Let's go.
Earlier, because he said, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. The ADA price action isn't retail. This is what front running an ETF looks like. Enjoy the cycle. And it is starting to look kind of crazy. And then I just came across this article. Cardano's ADA leaps to 2.5-year high of 90 cents, now at $1 as I do the video, as whale holdings exceed 12 billion. On-chain activity shows the involvement of large investors and institutions, indicating that the price surge could have staying power. So on-chain activity playing into this thesis of institutional accumulation.
12 billion.
And if we just kind of go down a little bit here, check this out. On-chain activity confirms the involvement of whales and institutions, indicating this rally could have staying power. I want to point that out. Staying power. And that's not without dips, by the way.
Facts.
Right? Let's keep that in mind. Data from analytics firm Into the Block shows the number of large transactions involving ADA has skyrocketed by 300% in 2 weeks. It's a sign, here we go, of heightened interest from institutional investors. Some of this momentum is sentiment driven, as previously noted, with Cardano's founder Charles Hoskinson hinting at potential collaborations with the Trump administration for crypto-friendly policies.
And that's currently what we need. So let's go on and check out the actual price. We're going to check out the actual price of crypto. We're going to check out the actual price of ADA real quick. Let me know if you can see the screen. We're checking out the price of ADA, and the price is currently, can you guys see the screen? Let me make sure the screen is larger. I apologize, audience. Let's zoom in on that all the way. Is that much better? Boom. So now we're at $1.13. $1.13. That's absolutely amazing. In 5 days, we went up 54%. In a month, we went up 212%. My bag is looking so good. In 6 months, 133%. Year to date, 82, and 1 year, 193. So if you was just to get in just a month ago, you up 212%. Make it make sense. The max 938%. Now this right here, this is nothing compared to cryptos going up thousands of percentages, 30,000, 40,000%. Look at where we were in 2020. It seems like we're right here. It seems like we're actually right here. Can you guys see that? Let me make sure you can see it. It seems like we're actually right here compared to here, right? Compared to November 9th, 2024, We're right here. Seems to me that we're right here at the bottom of the, and this may be the banana zone. That's what they call it, the banana zone, when it goes parabolic. And then it comes down, and then it goes back up, and then it comes down, and it goes back up. So that's one thing I love about crypto. You get the greatest gains. You will have the greatest gains. So just wanted to give you guys a update on that. Now let's switch to, because we got to do some form of charting, but I'm gonna have you guys to send me in what you guys want me to chart for you, and I'll make sure that it's charted to the best of my knowledge and the best of my ability. Now let's go to Charles Hoskinson, because he does a wonderful job. He's one of the founders, and to me, he's excellent at what he does. So let's go to Charles. Charles, here we go. Charles, here we go. Let's go.
Here, after being in Italy and Switzerland, almost over with my little tour of Europe, here for some workshops for the midnight people. So I'll be home soon. And then after that, down to Argentina to set everything up with Malay and the rest of the gang for December for the Constitutional Convention. I did want to make a quick video because, you know, from time to time I comment on technology and projects in the ecosystem as a whole. And people are so radicalized and polar that they anticipate the founder of Cardano to always just say negative things about the things that people do. And if I say anything positive, there's this immediate impression that I'm abandoning Cardano or somehow being disloyal to the project. First, that tribalism is intrinsically self-destructive. And second, it prevents us from learning and growing together as an ecosystem. So recently I made some comments about SWE. You know, I've been looking at the project with an objective eye. And the reason why is that some of the technology comes from George Dinezis. I've known George for almost a decade, and we were one of the first teams to implement RS Coin, a protocol that he wrote with Sarah Meiklechan years ago that we used as a precursor to some things with Cardano before the mainnet launched. So we've always tried to find a way to collaborate with George, but he's always been busy in UCLA, and we have our team up at University of Edinburgh. We're all in the same academic circles there, and everybody reads and cites each other's papers. So he wrote a paper called Narwhal and Tusk, which is one of the fastest BFT protocols ever conceived. Incredibly high throughput, six-figure TPS, low latency. It has trade-offs, as does Red Belly and others, but George is a real researcher. And if you look at the design of SWE, there is real research and there's a real team that's behind it. I'm not commenting on the distribution, the tokenomics, how they've launched, all those things. I haven't looked at those things, and nor do I care about them. I don't hold any SWE, and I'm not involved with the project in any way. So I dispassionately look at these things to say, is there any interesting innovation that has occurred? Because it's important for us as an ecosystem to see what we can collaborate on and work with. As you know, we joined DREC, and we're working on decentralized wallet recovery with Hedera Hashgraph, with Ripple, and also Algorand as ecosystems, because it's a universal problem that all of us are involved with. There's the stuff that's floating around that Cardano's old technology.
Did y'all hear the team titans that they working together to solve all of their problems? You got Hedera Hashgraph. Let's run that back. For the people that's just coming in the back, let's run that back. Listen to what he's saying. Pay attention. And all of these things, all of these technologies is part of the blue chip crypto 3. All of these technologies part of the blue chip crypto 3. Not financial advice, but you may want to get you some. Let's go.
Hashgraph with Ripple.
Hold on.
What we can collaborate on and work with. As you know, we joined DREC, and we're working on decentralized wallet recovery with Hedera Hashgraph, with Ripple, and also Algorand as ecosystems, because it's a universal problem that all of us are involved with. There's the stuff that's floating around that Cardano's old technology, we only do one transaction per second, and you know, best days are behind it. There's no innovative ideas.
So why do you guys think I'm super bullish in this space? With all the cryptos, all you gotta do is check the channel out. Also check my TikTok out as well. I put all the information on there as well. Not financial advice. You take your own risk. But I'm saying to say, we, at least for the next 4 years, crypto is on the up and up because we have the political, we have the regulation on our side. We have the actual innovators working together to make the space a much better place. So to me, it's the way to go. You have cities as far as in Amsterdam that is Bitcoin City. It's just cryptocurrency, and that's how they trade. So these things are happening on a small scale, but the world will find out soon. No, 9 times out of 10, the world come to the party late. So I want to catch you guys up, especially the retail investors. Let's go.
There. What's ironic about it is that Ethereum is desperate to try to beat Cardano. They're trying to figure out how to do on-chain government. They're trying to have liquid non-custodial staking. They're trying to figure out how to bolt on UTXO. There's a lot of things we did right in 2018, 2019, 2020, and beyond that did take some time to get out the gate, but now we're enjoying the benefits of that.
And I always believe that ADA is 10 times better than Ethereum. Let me repeat. ADA, as far as technology, as far as the white paper, is 10 times better than ERC20, Ethereum. Ethereum is cool, don't get me wrong. It's used for people can build on it and stuff like that. But you have better technologies out there. And I'm going for the solutions. Why didn't Bitcoin join forces with Ethereum? Have y'all ever thought about that? Why did Bitcoin itself decided to join forces with the Hederas, with the Ripples, with the ADA? It's a reason why. Because some people make things and you don't know about. That's why what's his name? Gary Gensler, which I'm glad he's resigning on January 20th. Well, he had no choice but to resign because Trump was going to fire him the first day. Anyway, so do yourself a favor and step down. That would be the honorable thing to do, I guess. Right? All I'm saying is that they built these things. They reached out to the people that they know had the best technology. Ripple had the best technology. ADA has the best technology. Hedera Hashgraph has the best technology as well. You can't lose. There's no way you can lose with these. So why do you think that Bitcoin chose them to do the bridging instead of choosing Ethereum to do the bridging? I think Ethereum is good. It's going to go up in value. Don't get me wrong, right? But there's other things that you can get for way cheaper. That's way more important to the crypto sphere and the space, right? And it allows you to gain a maximum profit. It's like catching ETH when ETH was underneath $1. Think about it like that. It's like catching these platforms when they was underneath. It's like you became the institutional investor. You became an angel investor on a retail level, and we all could do it. That's all I'm saying. It's not too late. Not financial advice. We just getting started. Let's go.
You see, the thing is, Cardano is about compositionality and momentum. When we make design decisions as an ecosystem, we build on top of those decisions for years to decades to come, and we don't regress or have to radically change the core design of the system. Plutus came out and is a very tight system from expressiveness. Then V2 got better, V3 got better, and then a family of languages came. We didn't radically change the programming model or the security model, but now it's exponentially easier to write applications on Cardano. And they're much faster and cheaper, in fact, 10 times cheaper in many cases than they were just a few years ago, without any deviation from the core programming model, which also was hand in glove built for technologies like Hydra, which is starting to become into enough maturity to actually start doing useful things, as well as where we want to go as an ecosystem with partner chains and Laos. Laos will be the fastest single shard protocol around. It's called the 1 - delta protocol. You can't really get much faster than that without sharding the system and then trading off decentralization and security. So in terms of prototyping, Ouroboros Paris, the SIP is
run that back.
Chains and Laos. Laos will be the fastest single shard protocol around. It's called the 1 - delta protocol. You can't really get much faster than that without sharding the system and then trading off decentralization and security. So in terms of prototyping, Ouroboros Paris, the SIP is written. We're nearly done with the prototyping of it, and all of that's being turned over to an RFP, which I believe Modus Create is currently bidding on, the ones who implemented Genesis, also known as Tweak, because Modus Create acquired Tweak. Well, the exact same thing is underway with Ouroboros Laos now. And we have 6.8 full-time engineers working on the innovation team right now for Laos that will continue to scale because it's such a high priority inside the ecosystem. And all of that is sitting over at Intersect. We're leading the primary push, but there are other companies, namely SundaySwap and WellType, that are also involved in prototyping, and more to come as this becomes more critical. So the point is that plus the fact that we are still the most decentralized, and we've just turned on the largest decentralized government in the entire industry, is a demonstration of how Cardano is starting to speed up and how Cardano's design decisions are cumulative. They're building on themselves layer after layer. We have the best network stack. We have the best consensus architecture, the best programming model. And with the launch of Midnight, we'll be connected to pretty much everything in the industry as an ecosystem. Other frontier technologies like Babel fees allow people to pay in the assets that they care to pay in, and for markets to form with that. And we will embrace zero knowledge in ways that is very difficult for account-based models to do so. Rolling up outputs of UTXO is much simpler than rolling up account systems, and less security trade-offs as well. And we're best in class there. So Cardano is one of those things where you can go away for a few years, you come back, and it's exponentially better. And that's what makes it so cool. That, alongside the hard fork combinator, means you have seamless upgrades in the system. It's very easy to build high-performance protocols if you are willing to sacrifice decentralization. And it's very easy to move very quickly as long as you're willing to trust a central authority to do that on your behalf. It is much harder to do things in a fully decentralized way with an on-chain government. Cardano chose that road because it's a real cryptocurrency. And its aspiration is to be the dominant platform for the economic, political, and social systems of the world. It's been pioneering for a long time, and that's why it's been around for 7 years, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It also has a deflationary monetary policy and low inflation with the consensus algorithm, Ouroboros. We learned a lot from Bitcoin, and we built on top of those ideas. There is a lot of personal distaste in certain ecosystems and communities for me, a lot of misinformation, and a lot of just straight up lies that people tell. But it doesn't really matter because Cardano's here. It's going to be here tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. And the point is that we are number one because we figured out the recipe. A lot of what we've been doing in 2024 is sharing that recipe and getting that recipe institutionalized so that custodians across the world will ensure that it is protected for the decades to come. Already, there's a vigorous debate occurring about the budget process. Already, there are more than 500 people who have signed up to be DREPs, in addition to the dozen plus people serving on the Constitutional Committee. And all of the details for Chang Plus One are nearly finished. And we are on schedule as an ecosystem for node version 10, which will enable Chang Plus One. And there's a high probability the on-chain government will initiate it before the end of the year or early Q1 of next year, subject to their will, because they're in charge. In the process of doing that, we then have a full on-chain government. And the Constitutional Convention is on schedule. More than 40 workshops have been held across the world, and soon to be 63 in 50 countries, with 63 delegates being voted and alternates being voted on to descend to Argentina to ratify a constitution, to then be completely ratified on chain. There's no cryptocurrency in the world that's had the audacity to try to do things in parallel and at this scale that we've been doing. That's just a fact. And doing so with no help from the VCs and a lot of people playing unfair games. Yes, there are certainly some problems, and yeah, we need to grow in certain areas. And that's one of the discussions right now in the on-chain government, especially with marketing, branding, and growth. And I'm one of the loudest voices saying that the time has come for us as an ecosystem to market the USPs of Cardano and to get Cardano's brand out there as the most cutting-edge, state-of-the-art ecosystem and the safest ecosystem to build on, and to grow Cardano at a steady and mature rate. There needs to be some discussions of what growth means and what KPIs are meaningful. And that's the point of a budget process, is that it puts money down on the table to match intent. Leaders have to step up and do great things. But the point of decentralized governance is to give space for leaders to do so. Only Cardano and Bitcoin have truly escaped their founding teams. The rest of them are reliant upon them in some way or fashion. That's just a fact as well. And that's what makes Cardano so special, is that we have created the largest decentralized brain, the largest decentralized government, and unlike Bitcoin, we have not succumbed to stagnation and anarchy, where there's no way to evolve the core protocol. Quite the contrary, there's a desire to speed.
That's one thing I like about Cardano. It's adaptable. It's adaptable. It can adapt to any situation. It can shapeshift. Unlike Bitcoin, see, Bitcoin to me is built on an old protocol. Bitcoin is good. It's a placeholder, right? But I think other technologies in the near future will surpass Bitcoin, XRP, ADA. These things will surpass Bitcoin at a level that you're not going to even, you're going to still hold Bitcoin because it's going to be of value, right? But you want something more adaptable, more able, that's able to even trade Bitcoin and make Bitcoin go faster. Because Bitcoin itself can't move so fast, right? ADA can, Ripple can, Hedera can. Oh, yes, it can. On that note, continue to watch. Continue to watch. We got a couple more minutes. Some people don't like lectures, but this is an educational platform. I love them because that's just part of this. Is all part of it. You got to go in with the good part, the boring part, and the boring part to me has the most clues and give you the most prospect or the projection for the near future. I love this type of stuff.
Speed up the rate of innovation. There's a desire to innovate. Now, there's a lot of things that we have to relax as an ecosystem. There's already a lot of talk about a new version of the node, one that is less reliant upon Haskell and more of a polyglot nature. There's also discussions about alternative clients as well. Again, these are things that are being discussed in the budget process, and I'm in favor of a Cardano 2 in terms of a node architecture that relies upon all the lessons we've learned over the last 7 years and to build this in the most inclusive way possible. We've already begun key conversations with members of the Cardano ecosystem who are outside of input-output, who have been building infrastructure like the TX pipes and DC Sparks about serving in an architectural role to discuss a new node design. This is something I'll talk about in more detail in my presentation down in Argentina, where I talk about the new roadmap and where we can go and what we can do. But again, this has to be endorsed, funded, and approved by an on-chain government. That's the difference between us and those who aspire for decentralization. We've achieved it. It's done in a considered and deliberate way where no one is really left behind. That's the magic of who we are and where we're going. It's not sexy. It's not flashy. We don't wake up with these huge announcements that surprise everybody, the one more thing on a stage like Steve Jobs. Instead, it's the tireless work of thousands of people across the world, many of which have never met each other, who all just want a better world. And that's why they contribute. Cardano is here to change the world's economic, political, and social systems. And it's built purpose hand in glove for that expressed reason. And we've truly innovated in every place you can look, from how you measure decentralization with the Edinburgh Decentralization Index, to how governance works with SIP 1694, to how one should approach light clients with Mithril, to how people should approach state channels with Hydra, to how sidechains needs to work in a way that promotes interoperability with partner chains, to 1 - Delta protocol, which is Ouroboros Laos, to the entire formalization of the consensus logic of our industry as a whole, leading to liquid non-custodial staking built upon the ethos that Satoshi set out. The realization of the dream of color coins with Cardano native assets, the expansion of the accounting model that Satoshi invented with extended UTXO, allowing us to do proper smart contracts in a UTXO system and derive all the benefits of them, including the verifiability and determinism and local predictability of resource utilization. The seamless upgrades with the hard fork combinator, utilization of literate AGDA, so it allows us to have formal specifications that extract both Haskell and soon Rust code. The polyglot nature of Cardano smart contracts with TypeScript, Aitken, which is essentially looks a lot like Rust, and Haskell for high assurance applications mean you pick your own adventure. These are all amazing innovations, not to mention Catalyst and the 1,900 funded projects that it has, and the soon-to-be $600 million on-chain treasury at the consent